One of the principles that I have discovered is that I can truly serve God and others in my business by building relationships. You know, as a Christian entrepreneur, there are really 3 levels to building relationships, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the support level, which is with other Christian business owners. We're going to talk about the potential clients that you're going to have, those you're really called to serve. And then we're going to be talking about the existing clients and team members as you grow and really going deeper with them to make disciples. So I have these 3 levels. I have 3 tips in each of these levels for ways for you to get started and make the most of building relationships that are good for your business and that serve God. Join me. This is DeneenTB, your Christian business growth strategist and clarity coach. And I come here every Tuesday to bring you things about truth and business. The truth being God's word, and business is how we serve. So today, I want to really talk about these 3 levels of relationship that are truly important for our businesses. It's been said that Christian businesswomen should prioritize God, family, and business. Have you heard this before? And I believe that it's totally true, because this vertical relationship that we have with God, that is the most important thing. If you don't have that right, nothing else that you're going to do or try to do is actually going to work out. You cannot, as I like to say, overflow in your life in a good way without filling up on God first. After we take care of this relationship, our next relationship is with our families. We have to take care of those people first. Then we can think about our business. And, you know, God is so good to give us actually the relationships we need in our business to help us out, to help us support us, to help grow us, to help us influence others for Him. Because I know that you can serve God by building the relationships within your business. So, we've got God on our side. We've taken care of our family. Now it's time to focus on our businesses. So I have 3 tips at each of these 3 levels to really show you how you can really build those relationships. So let's go with the first level, and that's what I call support relationships. That means relationships with other believers. Now, we do need to develop these relationships with like-minded people. That is, other people who are also in business or who are in the marketplace, who work in the workplace, those types of people. And we see this example in the Bible with Priscilla. Do you remember Priscilla? She and her husband, Aquila, were friends and business partners of Paul. They had a relationship with him that equipped them to really live out their calling. They were telling others about Jesus, and they worked at the same profession with Paul, taking care of their financial needs through tent making. You may know that. The relationship that Paul shared with Priscilla and Aquila was one that encouraged and one that supported one another as they did the mission of growing the early church, of making disciples. So here is my question for you. Do you have a like-minded group of people? Do you have a community? Do you even have an accountability partner? Do you have other believers around you who are also in business? Now, there's a number of different ways that you could do this. You may be in a Facebook group that asks important questions about your faith and helps you keep you centered actually on your business. That could be one community, one group. You may have an accountability partner who helps you to really stay on track with your goals. You may have a mastermind group with other believers where you talk about and get help for the challenges that you're having in your business. Or you may even have a coach and a community with other believers who are also in business. So there's so many ways that you can connect with other believers who are also in business. There are many ways, and depending on your needs, there are many things that you could be doing all at the same time. So I have 3 things for you to think about, to think through, so that you can join one of these groups, communities, get a partner, whatever it is that you need. And that's the first thing that you have to determine. You have to determine what type of group, what type of community, what type of person. Do you need a coach? That's where you really have to sit down with God and really determine who has He put in front of you, and what do you actually need. And then the second thing you should do is sit with God and have Him bring those people to mind. Ask Him for the opportunities to connect with other believers for mutual support. Because I know this to be true. When I start to pray about it, when I start to focus on what I need, that's when I see the opportunities come in front of me, and I get to really know if it's for me or not, because I've been praying about it and God brings it, and then He helps me to discern it by spending time with Him to see if that's where I really need to be. And then the third thing is to really look for places that allow you to contribute as well as receive support. I know many times it seems like they're just giving you all the information, but they're not asking you for anything. To really have this kind of support at this level of building relationships for your business, you need to have something that is very collaborative. So look for that as well. What does your business need for success? Well, it needs relationships that are built on common values and on Jesus. So I have Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 12, and this is what it says. A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but 2 can stand back to back and conquer. 3 are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. That is so exciting to know that one of the levels for our business is to have these support relationships with other believers who are also in business. So the second level is our potential client relationships. Potential client relationships. That means developing these new relationships with those that you're called to serve. And if you're in business, it's hopefully those who will become part of your world, because you're helping them solve their problems. So let's go back to Priscilla again. You know, Priscilla was such a strong-minded, enthusiastic person. Her love for God, her love for Jesus, the loyalty to her husband. I see her really as a mover and a shaker. That was Priscilla all over. I really see Priscilla as kind of that front of the house part of the business, while her husband was maybe behind the scenes. Because you know what? When their names are mentioned together in the Bible, half of the time Priscilla's name is first, and the other half of the time Aquila's name was first. So what I really see is that they were kind of the power couple in business and also in the early church. So I can just imagine when Paul first went to Corinth, and he met people that were actually followers of Jesus, that he was pretty surprised, because Corinth was this commercial city. It had 2 waterfronts, and it was known for its rough characters and its loose morals. You know, as I said before, they worked at the same profession as Paul. They were tent makers, which was really working leather and making goods out of leather besides tents. So she and her husband moved around a lot because they followed those trade routes. And so when they followed the trade routes, they were in different areas, and they were always meeting new people, potential clients. And there was always things for them to do, people for them to meet, places to network, so that they could gain new clients. So, of course, your methods, my methods, they all look very different than what they were doing in the first century, right? We meet most of our potential clients, especially in this day and age when we've been going through COVID, that we meet in the online space. So I want to ask you this. Do you have a strategic way that you connect with your potential clients online? I have 3 tactics that I think are truly important when we're looking at connecting online. we need to do this. We need to show interest in the person that we want to connect with. We want to talk about them. We want to say why we want to connect with them because of something they do that is interesting to us. We don't talk about ourselves. I think this is so super important because a lot of times I talk about the networking ninjas, and they're just people that throw their stuff all over the place. So instead of building a relationship, they're always buying ads. They're always doing all these things to kind of jump up and down in front of you and say, me, pick me, this is what I'm doing. Instead of saying, I really like what you're doing. So that's the first tip, is to show interest in them and why you want to connect with them because of what they do and their type of business or something they've said. Respond to them using them. The second tactic I have is to never ask for the sale outright. Now, I know you're probably saying, I never do that. I don't ask for the sale outright. You would be surprised at how many people reach out to me just to sell their stuff. And especially if you are a person who is on Facebook, you'll notice in all of those groups, so many groups, that there's just post after post after post after post of people just putting, this is what I do, this is what I sell, this is what I have. And they're not building relationships. And they join so many groups. The third tactic I have for really building relationships with new or potential clients is to really start to share valuable information on things that might actually help them. So when you start to get to know people, you start to know what their interests are, or you start to know what they might need because you've been asking questions. You're interested in them. So maybe you talk about a book that you're reading and you recommend something to them. Maybe it's a tip that you have discovered. I love putting out tips in posts, whether I'm on LinkedIn or I'm on Pinterest, or even if I were to tweet it out, which I will be honest, I don't use Twitter at all, but maybe you do. But just thinking about how can I give value to someone and what can I tell them? And it may just be a resource that you have that you want to share. Many times we say, oh, I know these tactics, but we are guilty of not using these tactics and just kind of getting lazy and not building those relationships that we really need to build. Remember, it's all about that know, like, and trust factor. And when it's getting to know you, it's how can you help me? That's what the person's thinking. And when they like you, they need to see you on video. They need to see your heart. They need to talk to you. So they need to like you. And then they need to trust you. Trust that you are the right person for them, that you are the person that's going to solve their problem. So what does your business need for success? Well, it needs relationships with new people, potential clients, those who want what you have to offer. So I have Proverbs 11:30 for you, and it says this: the seeds of good deeds become a tree of life. A wise person wins friends. Did you hear that? The seeds are those things that you're giving that are value, that they see that you are giving them because you're meeting their needs. Let me read it again. Proverbs 11, verse 30. The seeds of good deeds become a tree of life. A wise person wins friends. So if you're thinking, well, you know what? I need to do a better job. I need to know how I'm actually doing in this attracting new people, attracting my ideal clients to me. Guess what? I have an assessment for you. And I'm going to put it down in the description. And the assessment will give you a way of looking at what you're doing now online to attract your ideal clients. It'll assess you and it will let you know how you're doing. Okay, it's a very simple, very few questions, and it's going to help you decide, am I doing a good job at really attracting these clients or am I not? It's called the Client Attraction Assessment. I know, such a great name for it, but I'll put that down in the description for you so you can click on it and you can figure it out for yourself. Okay, the third level that we have for really building relationships is with existing clients that you already have and again, team members as your business grows. So it can be an and or at the same time. You may not have team members yet, but that's okay. So this means that we're really going deeper with our clients so that you can have the opportunity to share your faith and make disciples. And this goes for your team members as well as you bring people on. It's your opportunity to go deeper. It's your opportunity to maybe share your faith with them. So let's go back to Priscilla and Aquila, and that they traveled with Paul and they became leaders in the church in actually several places. And Priscilla was a mentor and a friend to many of the other leaders in the early church as well, because they built friendships that were deep, friendships that were meaningful, that they actually built friendships that lasted a lifetime. Working together for a common goal like that, it really does kind of bond people together. And Priscilla, she may have met Paul as just being a follower of Jesus, but I think she became a true disciple and a leader through building relationships. Your business can support your ministry work, which our ministry work is just telling others about Jesus, making disciples. It can do that in the same way as Priscilla's. Because, we don't need to be selling Christian merchandise. We don't need to have a Christian coaching business to really show up in the marketplace as a believer of Jesus. God called us into business because he wanted us to reach all kinds of people. And so he's put you in a business that is perfect for you because he uses your expertise and your ideas and your talents in such a unique way so that you can reach someone that maybe no one else can. You're in the right place at the right time with the people who need to hear the right message. How can you do this? By being a mentor. In business, a mentor relationship is not a new one. We do it all the time. You've probably had mentors that they didn't even know they were your mentor. Maybe it was a book that you read or videos that you watch from someone. Maybe you have had a mentor, that someone who took you under their arm and taught you some things. You might have called them a coach. It doesn't matter, but having these relationships with your existing clients or your team members, it's an opportunity for you to pour in to the other person. Because, mentoring really connects you in a way that really brings out your own best qualities. It actually improves you. So who can you mentor? Well, ask yourself these questions. Who could I encourage and support both personally and or professionally? Don't limit yourself. Who could I be committed to in this type of relationship? You actually want to have someone that you like, right? What expertise or what experience can I offer this person, the person who needs it? And how can I be a role model to this person? No matter who you are, you can find others who respect you and who can use your guidance. So I have 3 ways for you to show up as a mentor in these existing clients, in these team members, in really having this deeper relationship with them. First, start by treating others in a way that makes you attractive. Be a leader worth following. Second, show up each day giving your best, having a great attitude, and showing kindness to others. I always say, be the most helpful person in the room. And the third thing is figure it out. Figure out what you have to give, that talent, that skill, that ability, the thing you can pass on to someone else, and really seek out that person and share it with them. Once you have become a mentor to someone, only then may you get the opportunity to share the hope of Christ that you have, the one that's inside of you. I love what 1 Peter chapter 3 verses 15 and 16 say. They say, you must worship Christ as Lord of your life And if someone asks you about your hope as a believer, always be ready to explain it. But do this in a gentle and respectful way. Keep your conscience clear. Then if people speak against you, they will be ashamed when they see what a good life you live because you belong to Christ. It's truly important that we have all types of relationships that help our business. We really need that. And this last one is really a way for you to do what Jesus called us to do, to make disciples. So, in the comments below, what I would love to know is the first thing, or one thing, or a thing that you will do today to begin to build one of these relationships. Whether it is with other believers, or with these new potential clients, or with the existing clients and team members that you have. What is one thing that you're going to do today to get started, to be able to build these relationships for your business? Because these relationships really are the relationships that matter for your business. You need relationships that support you in your business. You need relationships that help you grow your business. And then you need relationships that build the kingdom of God through your business. What will you do? Where will you start? This is DeneenTB. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, be filled to overflowing.